returned to the show for the first time in years. She was originally from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now she's in the East Coast with the cold weather. My sincere apologies. The Queen of Dinosaurs, Miss Terra Calaway, has returned to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Good evening, Terra.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Long time no talk.
I know. It's been so. When was the last time I was on?
That's a good question.
It wasn't
The,
like
the,
12, 13?
yeah, like that. I do remember it was probably the year where CM Punk had that controversial pipe bomb because you were there. You were there in
That's
person.
true. I was.
So yeah, it was that year in particular.
It was a long time ago then.
Yes. So we're definitely gonna get caught up with you for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't know where to begin. Like, you was living nice and warm in Las Vegas, Sin City, and now you in Pennsylvania, from my understanding, correct?
I'm actually in New Jersey.
Oh,
I was
New
in
Jersey.
Pennsylvania for a little bit, but
Uh,
not in New Jersey.
okay, I got you. I got you. New Jersey, my bad.
Yeah.
So why the change? Why the move from Nevada to Jersey?
I just kind of needed like a fresh start of life, and I said, hey, what's better than getting a fresh start than moving clear across the country and a win? So I did.
Okay, so now that you have adapted to the East Coast and the time zone, obviously, the East Coast is known as very cold winter this time of year. So how are you holding along with that?
I'm not doing too well with that. Every time there's a massive amount of snow, I hibernate in my house for a good few days and refuse to leave. But, that's actually getting warmer. Like, today is in, like, the mid-70s. So we're having a weird freak winter, which I'm more than okay with.
I forgot to mention the snow. I was just talking about the cold weather, but the further in the East Coast gets a lot worse. I live in Kentucky for half my life. I guess you could technically call us a Midwest, so we got to get the snow too. Unfortunately, we right up there with Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. So I
Yeah.
so I feel your pain for sure. Uh, so Miss Calloway, let's talk about this nickname, cause the Queen of Dinosaurs. Now I know once upon a time you call yourself a pterodactyl,
Yeah.
uh, and now you have expanded the Queen of Dinosaurs. You make your way to the wing with a dinosaur type of mask. I seen the default picture, profile picture.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very cool. Uh, so
Thank you.
let's talk about the Queen of Dinosaurs name. Like, was that idea? Was it the promoter's idea? Like, how did that came about?
It was more my idea. It was kind of funny because, I obviously picked being a pterodactyl because it was kind of a pun. Like, Terra easily turns into pterodactyl. But people started kind of calling me out on the fact that, like, all my stuff was velociraptors or T-Rexes. Because, like, a velociraptor is my favorite dinosaur. And so people were kind of like, wait a minute, you have nothing pterodactyl. And I was like, I kind of realized I need to broaden my horizons. And I always tell people, I'm like the queen of knowledge when it comes to dinosaurs. So kind of just fit putting it from, the queen of talking about dinosaurs is being the queen of the dinosaurs.
I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but what is your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite is a velociraptor. I love velociraptors.
Cool, cool. I definitely can see you being a teacher when you're all said and done, teaching people about dinosaurs. I mean,
Yeah,
you have
definitely. Yeah.
I sense the passion that you have, and and the fascination. Not many people think too much of dinosaurs because they're extinct or whatever, but only reason I know Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And I'm a Power Rangers
Ah.
fan. So you got Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus. That was childhood. Those were the days. Those were the days. So as far as wrestling with the East Coast and getting to know people, being in the locker room, like how have your peers on the East Coast, how's it been being with them and they make you feel right at home at first? Did it took some time? Like how has it been like being with the peers on the East Coast?
For the most part, everything's been really nice. Everyone's been really great. I know that I was very shy when it came to like going to shows and stuff like that, and I was really shy about like reaching out because I just wasn't like I didn't know anything about the scene out here. So it took me a little bit to kind of like find my group of friends and find the people that I would rely on out here. But like now that I've been out here for a year or a little bit more, like it's nice. I know a lot of people, and I consider people out here my family, just like I did when I was out in the West Coast. Like, those people are my friends and my family. So they really, really welcome me, and it's definitely like a tougher scene out here, especially for women. So it's kind of neat to like meet new people and make new friends out here.
Cool, cool. And now I just got clarification. You are not a fan of the Power Rangers. I was just scrolling through your.
It's not that I'm not a fan of the Power Rangers. I've always liked the Power Rangers. It's just like I don't go out of my way to like watch the Power Rangers.
Okay.
I don't really go out of my way. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can understand people love the Mighty Morphin, and then as the years gone by, it's like they focus on a new generation, and it's like the interest is not where it used to be. And then when you have the movie coming out, to me, look, those costumes look like Iron Man. Like I don't know.
They do. They look very metallic versus what the normal costumes used to look like.
I mean, I get that it's 2017. You want to get with the times, but like if you're gonna do that, at least avoid making it look like someone else. I'm just saying.
You tell them.
So, as I fall from the West Coast to the East Coast, you got this amazing thing going on called Dropkick Depression. And for those who may not be aware of it, talk a little bit about that. How did that got started? Because I'm very, very like the story behind it and the meaning behind it and the cause behind it. Talk about Dropkick Depression.
Absolutely. In 2012, at the very end of the year, I had like come to like terms with my depression. Like I was tired of hiding it. I was tired of like pretending to be somebody that I wasn't. So I randomly went on a giant Twitter rant, just kind of like exposing everything, like that I had depression, why I had depression, and everything. And I got an amazing feedback from that as far as like other wrestlers being like, hey, that's really cool that like you said that because I had depression too, and like fans going, hey, that's cool, like a wrestler goes through the same stuff that we go through, and it just like it felt good to not only talk about it but to like help other people that didn't think that they were able to openly talk about it. And so I started Dropkick Depression so that I could help not only wrestlers, but fans, or really anyone that feels like they can't talk about it or feels like they're alone, to help show them that they're not. Everyone on the planet goes through the same thing. We just all go through it at different times in our lives. We take it with, we handle it differently. But we're all in the same boat. We're all on the same planet. So, I wanted to help bring that to light. And so I've been doing like different projects with Dropkick Depression and like really trying to like expand and make sure everyone knows that they're not alone.
I've been through depression myself many years back. It's not as severe like a lot of people, but I guess it felt like at the time I was losing hope because I couldn't find a stable job or whatever. And one thing about depression is that it could definitely be tough, but it doesn't mean you have to go through it alone. You can always go to help. You can always reach out to family and friends and co-workers and a variety of people. It's just a matter of reaching for a hand. Um,
Absolutely.
it's just a matter of just being with the right people that understands you and they are willing to do what they can to make sure that you get out of it. Um,
Mhm.
it could be just as deadly as a power slam.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
so, and I'm looking at the website right now, dropkickdepression.com. There's a ebook, a paperback called "Kicking Out at Two: Professional Wrestling Stories on Struggle and Triumph with Depression."
Yeah.
Did you write this book?
It is actually 8 of us. It is 8 different stories from 8 different professional wrestlers. I am one of the 8 in there. And I put it together in some Dropkick Depressions, and it's, different wrestlers are in different parts of their lives as far as wrestling and as far as, like, personal lives, what they've gone through in depression, how they've handled it, and, how they survived. And people, like, there are some people in the book, like myself or Mickey Knuckles or Jeff Cannonball, we are all still going through that. And so, we have all of our stories of that. Everything is unedited. It's uncensored. Like, there are things in there that some of us have never told anyone. So it's a completely different view on not only depression, but also the wrestlers involved with the project.
That is awesome. Shout out to Mickey Knuckles. I interviewed her before. She's a no-nonsense girl, let me tell you.
No, I love her. She's
But
wonderful.
I got love for the woman. So you can go get that at dropkickdepression.com. It's also available on Amazon Kindle, at Nook, uh, Kobo, and iBookstore. Kind of like iTunes, but it's iBookstore. There's also T-shirts. There's snapback hats, and there's a baseball winger. With baseball around it. I'm just saying. Check that out. Dropkickdepression.com, and I'm definitely gonna buy me some stuff out there. I might have to give me a snapback, something I can wear, something I can wear for work, 'cause the fitted cap's not gonna cut it. So.
No,
Um,
I love our snapbacks. Those seem to be
yeah.
a popular item.
Yes. So, as far as your career on the East Coast so far, what do you consider the biggest highlight of your career on the East Coast thus far?
Let's see. When I first moved here, I'd say maybe 3 months after, I won the first ever, I became the first ever Wrestling Magic Women's Champion. And then a few months after that, I became the UTWA Women's Champion. So I slowly kind of started taking over, and I kind of like it.
Oh, and not only that, but Dropkick Depression is a sponsor of Kevin Gill's shows. So y'all making moves, okay? Y'all making moves.
I am doing the best I can. It's kind of a one-woman operation with a lot of support and help from, like, my boyfriend and friends, but it's definitely very hard, but I'm doing the best I can.
Girl, you doing it. You dominated one coast, now you trying to dominate the East Coast. Um, so you got some shows coming up in March.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be at Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you go ahead and promote the shows that you got coming out for March and April?
Absolutely. This Saturday, I will be in Stevens, Pennsylvania for APW/Rogue Women's Warriors. I'm wrestling a girl from Canada named Pink/Kira, so that's going to be interesting. On the 25th of March, I'm going to be up in Morris County for UPWA defending my UPWA women's title. I don't know against who. I guess I'll find out when I get there. And then I believe it's April 8th, Yeah. I am part of the Warriors of Wrestling Women's Tournament, which will be in Staten Island, New York. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
That is amazing. Go check out the Queen of Dinosaurs. Support indie pro wrestling. Support your local wrestlers. Let them know how much you appreciate them for what they do. And you also are doing bookings outside of the New Jersey area. And I have a tendency to do this, so I'll do it here on these airways yet again. Kentucky, that's where I'm from. I love Kentucky. They got some talented wrestling companies out there. If you are in need of a female performer who can wrestle, who can give you designs, who can, build you some t-shirts and things like that, I'm just saying, you need a book, Miss Terra Calaway. This is a plea. Um, she she is a very talented wrestler. She is a hard worker, and whoever you put in front of her, she's going to give it 110%. So, I don't know what else to say other than book Terra Calloway to your company. Yes,
I appreciate that.
so I mean, I try and sometimes it doesn't work out. But I guess things to suggestions and things like that. Like, yeah, obviously you got to reach out to the promoters and tell them to book you. Um, so that's all. And I am friends with one of the guys that's in charge of a company, so I will try. The least I can do is try.
I appreciate it.
So, um, I also want to ask you about a recent female who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame just a couple of days ago. The Glamazon Beth Phoenix. At the
Yes.
age of 35, she will be the youngest inductee into the Hall of Fame ever. And that's so hard that she retired at such a young age. What's your thoughts on Beth Phoenix being inducted, and how will you remember her for her time in professional wrestling?
Well, I know there's like a lot of controversy and stuff with people going, oh, there's other women that deserve it. And this is not, and you know what? Yeah, there are other women that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. However, this year they picked Beth, and she's been wrestling forever. I can't even remember when she wasn't wrestling. Like, she's always been wrestling. And she built everything around her. Like, she became this big, I don't want to say monster because she's not a monster kind of like how I am, but she was, a monster when it came to the divas. Like, she just destroyed women, and she did it so well. She was very good. She wasn't just a look, or she wasn't just a gimmick. Like, she's very good at what she does, and so I am very happy that she's being inducted. I think it's awesome that she's going to be part of the first ever married WWE Hall of Fame. But, it's cool, and I will always kind of just remember that she came in when it was the time of Barbie dolls and said, no, you know what, not everyone has to be Barbie dolls. Some girls can be big muscle girls and still get over and still be awesome.
When I've heard the news of Beth being inducted, I was very proud. Um, she obviously came from the Indies, but all of us in the tri-state, Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky know her before she became a WWE superstar. They're not referred to as divas anymore, obviously. She was in OVW. That they were part of the developmental territory at the time, way before NXT and FCW, or FCW turned into NXT.
Yeah.
And she was just an incredible performer. Nonsense. Her and Natalia brought Natalia into the
Absolutely.
fold, and she won the women's title. She's won the Divas title, and one of three females to be in the Royal Rumble. Who could forget that she kissed Great Khali into elimination. Like that was hilarious. But as much as I love Beth Phoenix wrestling, my favorite fun moments and memories will always be when she was paired with the ever so hilarious Santina Marella. Though, though, you talk about an odd couple, it doesn't get any odd than the Glamazon and Santino. And
I think that was
Santino,
my favorite too.
that was just, and I will never forget when Santino tried to rap and Beth just had to sit there. And Randy Orton in the background, you can look it up on YouTube. He was trying so hard to stay in character. He just busted out and laughing in the background. But I'm happy for Beth Phoenix. And to all the critics out there, let me say this. If you want to be disappointed that China didn't get inducted, I get all that. Hopefully she'll be inducted one day. But don't discredit Beth Phoenix for her contributions. She contribute to the business. She contribute to that company, and she deserves her spot. So
Absolutely.
I'm happy for Beth Phoenix. Congratulations are in order to her. And lastly, before I let you go, Miss Calaway, again, I want to apologize for having you to wait this long to come back to the show. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I'm one of those radio hosts that interviews one people. I try to interview as many people at one time before I can get it back on for a second time, and then they come back for an anniversary or things or whatever. So it was great to have you back on, and I want to give a special shout out to Paris Kelly. She tagged me into your post, and that's how we reconnected. So, and thank you so much for your time, Tara. Truly appreciate it. And again, since you are known for your designing flyers and posters and T-shirts and things like that, this radio show, it's need of a makeover. And when I say a makeover, I mean like new designs, new posters, maybe like a new profile picture or whatever. So with your expertise and all, I'm reaching out to you in that regard. So I'll
Absolutely.
I will contact you more about this, and we can talk privately about that for sure. And again, thank you for your time. Continued success. And you can also just select VM. You can request a video message to Terra. Go to selectvm.com, click on the Wrestling's tab, look for Terra. She's there. And I might do that too. Request.
Oh, that'd be
I definitely will. But thank you for reminding me why you're one of the most entertaining guests on the show.
Thank you so much.
So again, continued success. I'll definitely contact you about those poster, and we'll go on from there. I'm definitely gonna need one with this show having a 6-year anniversary coming up in April. And
absolutely! Congratulations on 6 years.
And if you want to come back for that show, you let me know. Maybe.
Of course. So, anytime.
So, thank you for your time. Have a good night. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.